Welcome, all my lovely goblins and ghouls of the internet. I am Hanyo, your demonic cinephile in, or the model controls you see before you. All right, this is a long past due. We're talking about the fifth and the penultimate episode of TALAMASCA. This has been a very, very busy week. A very, very busy week. And I was going to record this earlier. I just got home super duper duper late. Thanks to a parade. So the parade was the beginning of the day, but prolonged a lot of other activities. Also, I was feeling very sick for a minute. Like my throat was like all and burning and itching and coughing. Took some medicine, starting to feel a little bit better. Only time would tell. Only time would tell. But I do just want to quickly talk about this because episode 6 should be available like in a few hours. So, best time is never, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, episode 5, the puzzle piece or puzzle something something. It's puzzle something. I don't know what the title is. I did not care for this episode. I'm being honest, I did not care for this episode. This is the only episode that I didn't write any notes about. It's the only episode I've seen once so far. And I just didn't like it. Not that it was a bad episode. It wasn't bad by any real means. It's just I feel like I'm just getting a little bit tired of this show, which is kind of sad because I really, really enjoyed the first episode. Second episode, a little iffy. Third episode, take it or leave it. Fourth episode, really loved it. I didn't like a lot of the lore breaking inconsistencies with the vampires and how they should be able to hear a lot of things happening around them. But I liked episode 4. And this one, there's something about it that's really bored me compared to the other episodes. And I just can't really fathom what it was. I guess it really has, maybe it was the beginning of the episode, because at the beginning of the episode, it starts right where episode 4 laughs off with Jasper Guy and Jasper's little servant boy arriving back at the London mother house. But instead of Jasper being all cool with Guy or trying to suss Guy out, trying to figure out who like tipped him off at the hotel, who the heck Doris is, he doesn't really know Doris by name. Instead of being kind of cool and nice to Guy like he was in all throughout episode 4, here he just gets very pissy. He gets very rage-filled, starts manhandling Guy, saying he's going to keep him alive to feed him to his mutant revenants. And it's like, where the fuck did this come from? What's with this whole big old personality change? You never seen Jasper act like this before, so why is it suddenly now happening? Then Doris comes by, and I'm not exactly sure how she's able to sneak up. Sorry, I'm not starting over. Not exactly how she's able to sneak up on the vampire, especially one as strong as Jasper. Which is exactly why. Not sure why Jasper is so strong. Because he seems pretty old, and he might be even younger than Louis, far as we can tell. Because he was already a young man, probably like a teenager back in the 1920s. So Louis was already a vampire before Jasper, but we're not sure about those timelines, whatever. Doris comes out of the truck. She took some spray can from the hotel and she makes a makeshift flamethrower and starts burning the fuck out of Jasper. And it was a really cool fire effect. It was a really cool effect, especially how they broke it down at the at the end of the episode. Really loved it. Really loved it. And the how they escape with from the Revenant. A little cartoony, kind of remind me of the fight scene, the chase scene in The Mummy Returns. So that was kind of cool. That was kind of like I like that. I like that. But now we have Guy and Doris joining forces, and I like what's happening. I like how they are like, we need to get out of London, we need to get out of the UK. And then yeah, this kind of cool scene where Guy goes to the brothel and he uses like he uses like this showroom to talk to Helen to convince her to let them leave. I like that. I liked all of it. The I just don't like Doris. I don't like Doris. We haven't learned enough about her to care, and they're still being very secretive about her. Also, she just definitely meshed well with Guy, if you know what I mean. Because Kevis, I'm gonna harp on these two characters, but Kevis was, she was fun, bubbly, and cute. Not that Doris isn't cute, but Kevis, she had a fun energy that bounces off of a Guy. He's stoic, she's fun, he's reserved, she's a little bit loud. And Doris, she matches Guy's energy. So we don't have like this fun back and forth when they're together in the scene. It's just like two boring people. I think that's the best way to explain. We just have two boring characters. And Guy, he hasn't gone through a lot of development, I guess you could say. And I thought he was getting a little bit more into his rage. I thought he was learning to be more rebellious. But after leaving Jasper's side, that kind of just goes all the hell away. Then you got to Helen. Helen, she goes to meet with what's her face, Guy's handler, whose name I already forgot. Which kind of bad because she turns out to be much more important than we initially realized. Yeah, so Helen goes to meet her, tells her that Doris and Guy are trying to get out of the UK. They need some help, need some fake paperwork. But Helen gives what is this woman's name now? I need to remember. Olive. That's right. Her name is Olive. So Helen goes to Olive. It starts like, okay, Guy, blah blah blah. Guy, get him out of town. But Helen, she feels something's a little off. So she tells Olive that Guy and Doris are shacking up. What is this shacking up? They're hanging out with the witches on their little boathouse, which we know is a lie because Guy and Doris are at a Talamasca safe house. So why the lie? Why the lie? Why the lie? Cut back to Jasper. Jasper is so freaking crispy, like crispy Kreme, and he's downing on some of the ancient vampire blood. So he's starting to get a little bit better. Now I think he looks a little too much better. The initial makeup we see on William Finchner when he first gets burned, he looks really good. He looks so good. I wish he looked like that for the rest of the episode, and mostly healed for the finale. But he has ancient vampire blood, so he's getting a little bit better and a little bit better. Kind of hate that. That's one of the hate season were bad because I love these series Well, I love Interview with the Vampire. This and Made for Which is kind of iffy, but in the novels, when I read the novels, at least half the novels, if I got a good sense that fire and sunlight were so fucking dangerous, even like you had to be at least 1,000 fucking years old before that shit didn't hurt you or barely hurt you. And here, though, it's like almost like a minor inconvenience unless the plot needs fire and sunlight to be super duper dangerous. I wish it was more consistent, just a little bit more consistent. That's all I kind of want. That's all I ask for. That's all I ask for. But God, he gets a text. You don't know who's texting him, but he gets a text, and he knows where Guy and Doris are. So we follow Guy and Doris. They're in the safe house. They're chatting. They're playing Sorry, and it's kind of nice character building. I wish we got a little bit more of this of Doris. You don't really get to learn a lot about her. No, it's just nice little moments that could have made us just care about the character before the finale. Just a little bit more you could have done for her. You know what I mean? But this is all we have. At the end of the episode, at the end of the episode, we see Jasper release his revenant mutants. They're going all over the town, and we think they're going to Guy and Doris are gonna kill them, rip them to shreds, drink their blood. But they don't go there. They don't go to the safe house. No. They go to the witches. They go to the witches and kill them. They kill all the witches. They massacre the witches. Which seemed like a little too easy. I mean, witches are kind of so-and-so, like in the Anne Rice verse, with how dangerous and powerful they can be. It's kind of complicated. Don't want to go fully into it, but the show version of the witches, they make them more like traditional witches. So why couldn't they just not? You tell me not one of them had a spell to alert them if someone strange on the boat. You're telling me no one had a spell to set someone on fire or something. Seems gonna. I mean, if they didn't have the budget for a fight scene, I can understand that, but I don't know. But we kind of pan back, and who's there watching all the chaos go down? It's Olive. It's Olive. And not only that, it's Olive. And while that's going on, we cut back to the detective lady and her IT guy, because we didn't show them throughout the episode, trying to decrypt the flash drive that she found in the episode previous. You know, by that time you probably think you hand it off to whoever your higher up are, but who cares about blah. But yeah, they're going through it, and while they're out, it gets encrypted, and guess what it is? It's the chrysalis thing we saw in episode 1, and chrysalis is a code name. Oh, you're so tired. Chrysalis is the code name for an agent. Who is that agent? It is Olive. Olive is a double agent. Olive isn't even her real name. I forgot what her real name. What they said her real name was. I think it was Dora or something like that. So yeah, so guessing Olive is working with Jasper. That would make sense why Jasper would need to attack the witches, because Helen gave her the false information and she fed that back to Jasper. It's the only thing that makes sense. And the final shot, We got back to Guy and Doris. They're sleeping in bed, and they pan down to underneath the bed, and what do we see? A bum bum bum. It's the 752. It's the book Kevin's had in her bag. And that's all. A lot of reveals in this episode. A lot of reveals. I just didn't give a damn. I just didn't give a damn. I don't know why. I just don't know why. I'm guessing it's. No shit. Hold up. Hold up. It's too loud. I'm not sure why I don't care about this episode. I just. It would just seem. Everything felt underwhelming. Everything past Jasper getting Sapphire. Oh, underwhelming. I didn't care about Guy's little conversation with Helen because I just stopped caring about Helen. She became less of the cool, mysterious character. Now she's like, "Oh, I'm here looking for my sister." I'm not sure I said it like that. And we got Jasper. Jasper seemed like a really unique and multi-layer villain. But now, the first time he's in this episode, he's just a rage-filled, typical evil vampire. And now we're trying to get some development to Doris, who should have had some more development, but no, it doesn't feel like it's working. It feels like we're trying to rush this. And it just goes back to saying that this show is simultaneously too long and too short. If this was take out almost every scene that does not include Guy, and do some editing, do some little rewrites, little click here and there. This could work really cool as just 4 episodes. But because we have all this extra characters, all this extra runtime, we're splitting our attention to characters that aren't nearly as interesting as Guy, or they're much more interesting as Guy. Because Guy is very flippy with how he's portrayed. Like, you feel like he's supposed to be like the everyday introduction to the supernatural world. But the thing is, we've already been introduced to this world. I mean, through the other 2 shows. And, maybe it's to grab the attention to people who haven't watched the other 2 shows. Fair enough. But I think this could have just gone full-blown supernatural and crazy from the beginning. We didn't need to have a audience surrogate character. I didn't think that was necessary at all. And then we tried building out these mysteries with all the other characters, like Helen. But Helen's big mystery of, well, what happened to her, my sister? Well, that was our answer. Unless you're going to reveal more, it's super unsatisfying. And we bring in all these little small cameos of things you'd rather be watching, like, oh, here's Daniel, which is cool, but now I just want to watch the Interview with the Vampire. Here's Raglan James. That's really cool, but now I just really want to watch Interview with the Vampire, and I can't wait to The Tale of the Body Thief. Oh, and in this episode, we have a brief glimpse to hear Lestat's song on the radio. And now that just makes me want to listen to Longface again. It's even kind of funny because there was like was that an article or just a tweet that them saying, you'll hear the Vampire Lestat song in the Talamasca show. And I'm thinking we're going to get like some really cool cameo, or maybe just see posters of Lestat in some place. But now it's just his song in a pub, which I wouldn't mind if I didn't know the cameo was going to be there, but because I knew in advance that the cameo was going to be there, I thought it was going to be something much more unique and special. But no, it's this quick little thing, which a cameo should be. But because you hyped it up, at least for me, I was expecting to be something a bit grander. And I just keep getting reminded of better things I could be watching. And by better things, Interview with a Vampire. And also, just even though this is a mostly a new source material, this isn't drawing anything particular. I think from Rice's books is mostly is just new things. I think it kind of works for the most part, but I think this could have been used to expand on characters that would have been more important in later books, like or later shows, like David Talbot. David Talbot, huh? Have everybody forgotten about good old David Talbot? The Talamasca season 1 should all been about David Talbot. Then Talamasca season 2 could have been all about Jesse. So when we get to Queen of the Damned, you don't have to go to these weird episode breaks to explain her backstory. No, boom, bam, her her introduction, her backstory's all been done in a whole season of Talamasca. I mean, the Talamasca show should have been used to tell these interesting in between stories. But no, we have the show is all about the fucking Easter egg hunt for this big old book of secrets. It sounds so much cooler than what it really is. It should be so much more epic and grand, or at least bloody. But I feel like I'm nitpicking. After I watch episode 6 and review that, I'm gonna watch all of the show in order in one day and talk about it like that. Let's just watch it all as like a weird 6-hour movie and see how it goes on its own merit. But so far, I'm very mixed on this show. I'm very M50-50. But yeah, this latest episode of Talamasca. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.